Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you. Oh, I didn't even put it in here. I need some of them with hand. Thank you.
Remember, the mic is hot.
All right. Just give me 1 second. Anthony was going to the office. Okay. All right. You know what? Yeah. Went to the wrong place. Jesus Christ. It's not even in here. Okay. What are you looking for? Hi, thank you all again for your patience. My name is Mar Fitzgerald. I am the chair of the Community Board 2 Cannabis Licensing Committee. For this meeting, I am recusing myself because of a prior association with a license now owned by the applicant for this license. So, Vice Chair of this committee, Patricia Laria, will be the chair of this meeting. Recusals at CB2 mean I can participate in discussion, but I will not be voting.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome. My name is Patricia Larry, and I'm the Vice Chair of Community Board 2 Cannabis Licensing Committee. It is 6:43, and it's January 12th, 2026, and I call this meeting to order. Meeting norms: no derogatory language, no personal attacks, do not speak unless the chair recognizes you. Public testimony should be addressed to the committee, not the applicant. There will not be any back and forth. If you have a question for the applicant, it should be addressed to the committee and it will be relayed to the applicant. Please be on your best behavior. At this time, I'll ask the rest of the committee to introduce themselves, and we're still waiting for one other person to make quorum, but we will get started.
Chris Dignas, community board member, committee member.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we have one item on tonight's agenda: a new applicant for an adult use retail dispensary license for Upstate State Collective LLC, submitted by Jennifer Czar on November 28, 2025, with the proposed premises at 66 Jane Street, aka 807 Greenwich Street. The Office of Cannabis Management, or OCM, documents show that Upstate State Collective LLC, under its previous owner, Marcel Hooks, had the high position of number 92 on the November application queue. In April 2025, it had a pending location at 73 Central Avenue in Albany, then 306 South Main Street in Syracuse from June until October 2025. That Syracuse location was on the list of dispensaries illegally sited within 500 feet of schools in July of that year. In November 2025, it showed pending at the current proposed location at 66 Jane Street, with Mr. Hooks listed as owner. CB2 received prior notice for this license and location, first under the name Marcel Hooks, then Jennifer Czar. Both were withdrawn, we were told, to allow for more time for community engagement. Currently, the license number is listed under Silver and Spindle LLC, with Jennifer Czar as the contact. The applicant has submitted a purchase agreement documents showing that Silver and Spindle LLC, with Ms. Czar as manager member, has purchased the entity which applied for licensing from the state, Upstate State Collective LLC, with Mr. Hooks. Ms. Czar also owns a Dagmar dispensary in Williamsburg and another in Soho, which was reviewed and approved by CB2 in September of 2023. It is worth noting that the November 28 notification to municipality form does not show the name Silver and Spindle LLC, nor does it bear the doing business of Dagmar. Additionally, the CB2 office has received an inordinate amount of opposition to this application prior to this meeting. Okay, the proposed premises is a landmarked row house built in 1849, which is a contributing building to the Greenwich Village Historic District established April 29th, 1969. The address is 66 Jane Street with an AKA of 807 Greenwich Street, New York City Block 625, Lot 5, which sits on the southeast corner of Jane and Greenwich Streets. The building is 3,600 square feet across, 4 stories, including a basement with a separate entrance. The land use designation is mixed residential and commercial buildings, class S2 for primarily 2-family with 1 store or office. It has 18.25 feet of frontage. Proposed hours are 10 to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, 84 hours, with 1 salesperson and 1 inventory person on site at all times. Who is here on behalf of Upstate State Collective, LLC? Could you come here? Yeah, thank you. And state your name? Okay. Yes. And tell us about yourself and your role.
Hello. Okay. And I speak to you guys. Okay. I'm Kayla Ferguson. I'm the Director of Operations for Dagmar Cannabis, the 2 locations in Soho and Williamsburg. I've been with the company since 2 months before we opened Soho. I am the day-to-day operations, so the kind of Jennifer does like the bigger picture business stuff, and I do the day-to-day, the hiring and firing, the scheduling, the purchasing, et cetera, et cetera.
I also want to recognize we have Nicole Barth in the room. She is a representative of Councilmember Eric Botcher's office. She's in the room and she'll be listening to public testimony.
Great.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go through and ask some questions. Okay. Hold on. Go through.
Let's just start with, how will you utilize the premises?
We're going to utilize it in a similar manner that we did with our first 2 dispensaries. We're going to open a legal licensed dispensary. We tend to do something that's a little bit more of a boutique style dispensary. We try to keep it a little bit more intimate, prevailing to more of a customer that is in our previous locations of Soho and Williamsburg. I've helped run restaurants before. I've helped run events. I came from hospitality. So I just try to run a small, tight team that just is respectful of the neighborhood and a beautiful storefront.
Okay.
And so,
Does this one work? Yeah, that works.
it's ground floor retail.
Yes.
Will you be utilizing, I mean, it's only about 900 square feet, right?
Correct.
So will you be utilizing any of the space? I could have sworn it was you're renting the whole building.
No,
Yes?
no. Just the 1 floor. It's just the small room that it will have a small 2 or 3 display cases. We do apothecary style, like display cases that you kind of look down into. 1 sales POS station, and then a very small inventory room.
Oh, so just a really small inventory room.
Yeah. We do a much smaller selection of SKUs than the average dispensary, so we just keep everything very small.
The couch, is that part of the public part of the dispensary?
Yes, we tend to have a couch or seating like we do in our Soho locations. We found that like normally people come in pairs and one person's buying and one person would like to sit down. A lot of people come in with their pets and sit while somebody else is shopping.
What is the CB2 interest? Why did you pick that area?
Well, on a personal note, Jennifer and I have been it's just the 2 of us kind of running these dispensaries, and we just have a lot of a connection to the West Village. I would say about 25% of the people I talk to as customers in Soho are from the West Village. They walk down and they've been asking for it the whole time, asking for us to move up there. I worked in the West Village for 2.5 years, 3 blocks away from this location, so I know the area and the clientele well, and it just felt like a fit. A lot of people I just talked to, my old regulars at the restaurant that I was working at, just all were asking, so we're looking in this area, and it's hard to find a spot that is cannabis approved. It has to be, there's a lot of regulations. So you just kind of wait your turn and find a spot that might fit your ethos of your business.
Okay. Will there be, I think in your application, you said that you will not have security?
Correct. We card at point of purchase because most of the people who come in Soho, like, well, not most, but a lot of the people who come in, they just come straight to the counter, purchase something. We card at point of purchase. It's, as far as security, Soho location has been open for 2 years on a very active street, and we've never needed it. People don't really linger, so it just wasn't needed, and we're just keeping it compliant. We obviously have security cameras and like panic buttons and things of that nature that most dispensaries have.
You state in the questionnaire that you don't expect any issue with the sidewalk and that you'll manage traffic verbally with signage. Will you please expand on that?
Sure. I mean, we're just working off of what we know from other dispensaries, other places. Again, when I was working at the restaurant on Hudson, if there's people who block the sidewalk, you just ask them to move. It's a residential area. We want to just keep it respectful and quiet. And it's just a store. It's not a club. We don't want people, creating that kind of atmosphere.
Okay. It also states that this business will not utilize any outdoor space, yet both of your other stores have cafe setups outside.
Yes.
Why not here?
It's not the right neighborhood. This is a historic area and the sidewalks are very small. You want to keep it open for people with their strollers, with their dogs, people walking through.
She also said that Ms. Zar said that she would make changes to the facade.
I think she wanted to put up one sign that said Dagmar.
Okay.
I do believe that's.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
We didn't receive any images of the proposed signage.
I don't think we would do it. It's kind of evolves as it happens, but we would just put up one sign that says Dagmar, the same as the other stores. I don't have a mock-up for that at the moment.
Okay. Same logo?
Yes, same logo. The kind of Art Deco smoke emblem.
Okay. Any permits?
For the sidewalk seating.
We're not doing. We don't have a permit. We were given a okay by the Soho Neighborhood Alliance. Bid. Yep. And then in Williamsburg, the building said it was fine. Because we're in the bottom of a big residential commercial mixed-use building.
Is it a POP or a private plaza?
I'm not sure what a POP is.
A privately owned public space, because if it's a public sidewalk, I believe it's the Department of Sanitation or DOT. DOT is the only entity that can approve.
Okay.
That.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Just FYI.
Yeah, of course. They have been by and told us that our signage was okay, so I assume they would have told me if the tables were not. But I do apologize, I have no idea.
Okay. The lease agreement that you submitted
Yes.
wasn't signed.
The lease agreement?
Right? Yeah.
The submitted lease isn't signed.
Oh, I didn't know that, so
But what does it mean? Does it mean the lease is not signed yet?
no, the lease is signed. I'll have to, she probably just forwarded the wrong of the amendments. I'll have her do that at the end of this meeting.
Okay.
Let me make a note.
What's the next thing? What kind of community engagement has been done?
In reference to what?
To this location, 66 Jane?
None yet, not that I know of. As in, you, like, what, I'm sorry.
Have you met with the neighbors? Have you met with the block association?
I think Jennifer has begun that, yes.
Okay. 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 Okay, how do I ask this question about the school? Do you realize that there is a school within less than 500 feet of your location? It's called West Village Nursery School on Horatio Street.
When we looked at the map for schools and places of worship, that one is not listed on it.
It's been in the neighborhood for over 60 years.
No, I understand that, but it's not on the like PS websites that you go to apply. And that's the one that the OCM is the one who approves whether or not the school is close enough, and they said they gave their approval.
So when you pull a proximity report
Yes.
from the local map, there's a giant disclaimer there saying this is not factual,
Okay.
and to check on your own and check 10 different ways. It literally says that when you pull the report. And I feel like everybody kind of knows at this point to check Google, to take a walk around the neighborhood. But also in September, we told the applicant that the school was there. And mind you, we know that the OCM is still operating under the same block road exclusive use provision that allowed for the illegal siting of 152 dispensaries in this state. But I feel like you guys knew the school was there. Even though, so I'm just want clarity on knowing the school was there and yet proceeding, I think is what the question is.
I can't speak to that personally. I'm sorry. I do the day-to-day operations. I can't speak to like the larger grand plan of things. It's specifically a nursery, you said?
Yes, it's been there for 60 years.
Okay.
Opened in 1960.
Nurseries and preschools are included in the 500.
No, I'm not. I was trying to write down in my notes the nursery.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Okay. Will you advertise for the business?
We don't currently, so I would assume no, continuing with that.
Okay. Will you close for private events? What type of events and how many for the year if you are doing this?
We don't currently do events.
Okay.
We don't do pop-ups. I don't do vendor days. I don't host people, other things in our space.
Will there be on-site consumption?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I have to ask these questions.
Of course.
Will there be delivery?
Yes. We will offer delivery from probably about a half an hour after we open to about an hour before we close. About 70% of our current deliveries from Soho are in the West Village.
Okay. I think that's it for me. I have to look over my notes. Is anybody else? Oh, hello, Anthony. And could you introduce yourself?
Anthony Wong, member.
Okay, and with Anthony present, we have quorum. So we're in the Q&A part of the meeting. Does anyone else have questions? No.
Do you have
Okay.
any questions, Kayla? I don't at the moment, no. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about the business?
We'll get to the,
Sorry. I asked, is there anything else you want us to know? But you have time.
Not off the top of my head.
At this time,
at this time, I'm going to open it up for attendees or people present to submit your testimony.
to give testimony, please direct your testimony to the committee and not the applicant. Thank you. And the first person we're calling up is Cynthia Penny.
And use this. Sure. Yeah, but, okay. Just state your name and where you're located in CB2. Do you need help with that?
Thank you. Is it on? Yes. Okay, great.
What's your name again?
Kate Bostock, Chair of the Jane Street Block Association. If everybody in the room who's opposed to this application could raise their hand, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I'm Kate Bostock. I'm speaking on behalf of the Jane Street Block Association, a registered 501c4 organization formed in 1980 with an active base of residents and longstanding stewardship of our community, including a community garden. Our mission is to preserve our quality of life and build community with residents new and longstanding on our 6 blocks of Jane Street. We are here to express our firm, unified, and unequivocal opposition to the proposed cannabis dispensary at 807 Greenwich Street, aka 66 Jane Street. This location is wholly inappropriate for a retail cannabis operation and would cause real and lasting harm to a quiet residential community. This corner is not a commercial corridor. There are no storefronts next door, across the street, or nearby. This is a block where families live, where children walk to school, and where neighbors look out for one another. Residents are deeply concerned about the late and extended operating hours proposed, as well as the increased foot traffic that entails. These are not minor inconveniences. They are fundamental disruptions that would alter the character of this block and diminish the quality of life for the people who call it home. We are also concerned about the operators' stated current practices at current locations. At the applicant's existing Soho location, neighbors have observed sidewalk sandwich boards and customers consuming cannabis at dispensary-supplied tables and chairs on the sidewalk, both of which are prohibited under New York City and state law. These are not technical violations. They directly affect surrounding residents and the public use of sidewalks. More troubling still, when the operator met with Jane Street residents, she stated that IDs would not be checked at the door, only at the counter, and that parents routinely bring children into dispensaries, including in strollers. While that may be how this operator currently chooses to run her businesses, it is not in the spirit of New York State cannabis law, which was designed to strictly limit youth exposure to cannabis in retail environments. On a street like ours, where children are present every single day, this is simply unacceptable. A dispensary where under 21 individuals can freely enter, even if briefly, sends precisely the wrong message and creates unnecessary risk in a family neighborhood. These statements raise serious concerns about whether this operator is prepared to act as a responsible neighbor on a residential block. There is also the issue of school proximity. This proposed site is approximately 350 feet from the West Village Nursery School, well within the 500-foot buffer that the legislature enacted specifically to protect schools from proximity to cannabis retail. While enforcement of the 500-foot rule has been complicated by litigation and temporary court orders, those measures were intended to protect already licensed operators from being forced to relocate, not to justify placing new dispensaries near schools. Approving a new license at this location would directly undermine the law's intent. We are troubled by the applicant's lack of transparency with the community. At a January 6 meeting with residents, the operator stated that her application had already been approved, implying that the community input and community board review were irrelevant. That is simply incorrect. Her license is still pending, and this board's recommendation plays a critical role in the process. Instead of engaging honestly with residents, the operator minimized the community's role and misrepresented the status of her application, further eroding trust. In fact, as of this morning, the operator had not submitted her long-form application, and she is not here this evening. Let me be clear, this is not about opposing legal cannabis. Our community does not oppose cannabis businesses in appropriate commercial locations. What we oppose is placing a high-impact retail operation on a quiet residential corner steps from a nursery school. Further, we are a buffer to a buffer street between the commercial activity of the meatpacking and the quiet Far West Village. This location would be less desirable to the applicant if the meatpacking were not 1 block north. It would be unfair for the residents of Jane Street and the Far West Village to be affected by its proximity to a nightlife destination. If this application is approved, it will signal that residential blocks are fair game for commercial cannabis activity, regardless of school proximity or neighborhood character or community input. For all those reasons, we strongly urge that this application be denied. We respectfully ask this committee to stand with residents who live here, raise families here, and have invested in this neighborhood. Thank you.
For clarity, I just want to address, and actually Kate and I spoke about this earlier, but not the A-frames. The sandwich boards are actually allowed. They have to be a certain distance from the building, but they are allowed. And IDs are only required to be checked at the point of sale, and children are allowed in. I've never seen it, but it is not illegal. It is the purchaser that must be ID'd, and that is the law. As far as this license being approved or even provisionally approved, actually, it is not. I thought it was a card license, which is a conditional, it's a special status license for justice impacted people. It is a regular retail license. It is also a social equity license under Mr. Hooks and would also carry on as a social equity license as sexual with social equity status as woman-owned business. But it is technically a regular retail business, which means this is just a new application, as far as I can tell. There is no evidence that this is actually a provisionally approved license, in my opinion. The next person is Cynthia Penny. Thank you.
Hi, Cynthia Penny. Is this on? It's good? Okay. I am a 37-year resident of Jane Street. I am a long-serving... Sorry, I don't hear it. Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. How does this? Right into it. Okay. I am a 37-year resident of Jane Street and a long-serving officer of the Jane Street Block Association, which, by the way, has 500 households on its mailing list. As you can see from the turnout today and from the many emails you've received, I can add that there's been a great deal of discussion via email, texting, social media, telephone, and in person. No one wants a dispensary on Jane Street. I'd like to make 3 points, and in making them, I hope it's okay to refer to the applicant as Dagmar, because that's the name of the 2 existing dispensaries, which, by the way, are both on retail streets, not residential, and both are open until midnight. I'll start by saying that Dagmar's not filling any need here. The Soho location already delivers Dagmar product. Secondly, there is a profound disturbance to our quality of life. I'm going to speak personally about this. It is already a huge problem with people smoking on our row house stoops and anywhere on Jane Street where there is seating. For me, it would be a nightmare. It would mean weed for sale 1 minute from my house. Now, they say that they don't allow smoking inside. That's no control over what's going to happen outside. It's an open invitation to more smoking, more noise, loitering, and littering at all hours. My final point is I'm also concerned about the young families in this neighborhood. Not only the nursery school, 2 minutes to the west, but the Saravalli Park, 2 minutes north, a huge center for children and playing. Dagmar is a business, and it's a business we don't want. I'm going to read from its own website here. I do not want to be 1 minute away from buds, pre-rolls, vapes, edibles, drinks, and hash. Nobody wants a weed shop on Jane Street. Thank you.
Lainey Tarazi?
Hi, Lonnie Tarazi. I'm a resident of Jane Street. I've been there for 31 years. And not to belabor everything, I am in opposition to the cannabis shop on the corner of Jane and Greenwich Streets. Thank you.
Paul Connor Grimes.
Like some of the other speakers, I live on Jane Street. In fact, I live directly across the applicant on 68 Jane. Just for reference, I have two small kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. The only thing that is going to be, I'm going to ignore all the things that I'll just be repeating, but one thing that's important to understand about this community, and particularly this area, is there's a 100-foot loading dock directly across from the occupants' 66 Jane Street. It's already a problem. There's many 311 calls that sometimes turn into 911 calls for people doing drugs, mainly marijuana. I come down in the morning and my apartment often smells of marijuana, and I have to ask people to leave constantly with my 2 kids coming down for breakfast. So this is a real personal issue for me. I echo what was said before. This loading dock, this area, these stoops will be like moths to a flame. It's too attractive. This is an off-premise business, right? There is no control over it once they exit. So I just wanted to state my biggest concerns on externalities. There doesn't seem to be a real security plan. There doesn't seem to be any real plan for externalities in the neighborhood. And frankly, some of what I learned tonight was not what the applicant told us when we met with her in person on the 6th, including the delivery aspect, but she assured us would not be a delivery business from this place. So a few things I'm digesting, and I apologize, but that's what I just wanted to make clear. And thank you for my consideration. I'm obviously against this.
Thank you. And I just want to acknowledge William Benish. He's also a member on our committee who just joined. The next person. Oh, they want the volume.
Yeah, I think it needs to be raised. But I can also switch it.
Okay. The next person up is Michael Cavaret. I don't want to butcher your name. Come on up.
Mic check, mic check. Hello, no. No.
Is it on?
Testing. Hi. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just repeat your name for everyone.
My name is Michael Cavaretta. I'm a resident of 815 Greenwich Street, which is a building on the block directly above the applicant's address on Greenwich Street between Jane and Horatio. I have lived in the building for about 5 years with my puppy, Chester. I am here to express my opposition to this application. I see absolutely no reason why any community need would be served by granting this application. Not only does this applicant already have 2 businesses, one of which is walking distance, there are, by my count, at least 5 other dispensaries within a 5 to 10 minute walk of this destination. As many others have said already, this is a very strange choice for a business application like this. It's a completely residential street. There are no nearby stores, restaurants. There are plenty of other appropriate locations, but this simply isn't it. I'm concerned about what I heard about the lack of security. Delivery being an option also makes me nervous because, as I think everyone here knows, we have a real problem with delivery bikers flying down Jane Street and not driving on the street like they should be. And that is only going to get worse if there's more deliveries being made. Also, I would like to point out for everyone that the owner of the building in which this application is being made, it's a privately owned home, and this gentleman, in the nice weather, he puts out tables and chairs on the street corner. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. So he'll sit there with friends, family, whatever, he'll have a glass of wine, read the newspaper. It's very cute and charming, but guess what's going to happen if those tables are there while they're selling this product? I think we all know the answer. Lastly, as everyone has brought up, there is the nursery school less than 500 feet away. I thought the applicant's response to that question was very troubling, and I don't see, I understand there's certain situations where you might be flexible and say, we're going to give this license even though whatever, because it serves some greater need, but there is no community need here. We have all been very clear that our community does not want it. Thank you.
Judith Solig.
Okay, hello, I'm going to read a statement. Hope everyone can hear me. Yes? Okay. It says, hello, my name is Judy Solig. I am the sole woman owner of 805 Greenwich Street, doing business as Sam's Abode, Inc. I incorporated in March 1996. I am a woman-owned business. The first issue with the questionnaire is that there is no lease attached for review, which you obviously already said is unsigned. Who has an unsigned lease? We put out leases all the time. You sign it. So there's a fraud going on there. Obviously, hello?
We get unsigned
I know,
leases all the time.
All right, but then that's not executed, right?
Right.
It's not an executed lease. So there's no lease. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm not mad at you.
I know.
I'm not mad at you.
I know.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll try to not be so angry. We know. Actually, I could put my glasses on. Maybe it'll calm me down. I can see better.
Me too.
Okay, the first issue with the questionnaire is that there is no lease attached for review. This fails to meet the requirements of proof of control of the location as required by OCM. Additionally, it was not submitted according to the CB2 Manhattan requirements, which state that the questionnaire must be submitted 2 weeks in advance. It was submitted 2.5 hours in advance of this meeting. Now, line items. Line item 2. I think it's cowardly of Jennifer Czar not to appear at the hearing that she requested to represent herself as a
No, just be 1 second.
I'm glad it's not called out.
All right. You had to say that out loud, didn't you? No, but it's not working. Give me 1 more second. What? Microphone is not working. You.
Okie doke. Are you Mark?
I am.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
emails. No way. Is she here? Oh, nice. Where does she teach? Oh. What'd you say? Yeah, that's what she teaches? Oh, yeah. Nursery? Does everyone know the history of the West Village Nursery School? Yes. The Margaret Mahler?
Kids went there.
Do you know the Margaret Mahler, that she did her study of individualism of the child? Infant individual? You don't know that? I'll tell you later. You don't know that, philosophy, that it's a study about the individual development of the child, Margaret Mahler. She went to the West Village Nursery. She studied children, 6 of them. I know 2 of them. They followed them until high school and after. The picture, the picture on the front of the children? Yeah, I can tell you who they are. But anyway. Yeah. Well, I just thought he wanted me to talk. Mark said talk. Oh, I'm ready? Oh, sorry. All right, I won't say that I think she's a coward. I already said that. Okay. Line item 6, there is no ground floor at 66 Jane Street. Additionally, Jennifer is trying to deceive the board by inserting 807 Greenwich Street in the parentheses when she was only asked for the cross street. The answer to this question is Greenwich Street and Jane Street. 807 Greenwich Street is not a cross street. This is another example of her deceptive practices. Line 12. Upstate State Collective LLC submitted a notification to municipality on October 21st. Her answer is in conflict with the facts. Line 23, not true. Jennifer was not disproportionately impacted by the, I'm still going, right? Yeah. She was not impacted by the enforcement of cannabis prohibition. Line 26, not true. Jennifer does not have a proximity protection. And Jacob will explain that to you when he speaks. We didn't know that you just did it random. He will speak to that. Line item 33, as a sole woman business owner of 805 Greenwich Street, I can attest, this is 33. I don't know what I said. It's 33. As the sole woman owner of 805 Greenwich Street, I can attest to the fact that there has never been a cannabis shop at 66 Jane Street prior. Check her answer. I have been a permanent resident since April 11th, 1996. Line 43. It is not ADA compliant because there is a step to enter the store. The riser is greater than the maximum allowable height, which is 7 inches according to the ADA. The step is 8 inches tall. So she lied again. Line 48. She told the community that there'd be no delivery. So she lied again. Line 51 about zoning compliance will be addressed by Samuel Solig, so he will talk about that. Line 55, she did not contact me. I am the neighbor and owner of 805 Greenwich Street. It is appalling to think another woman-owned business woman would speak to my husband, who is not the owner. Line 56, there are plenty of other cannabis stores in the neighborhood that also deliver and already benefit this community. Line 57, not sufficient security measures, but everybody else says that. Line 67, Marcel Hook's name is never mentioned in any documentation except for holding the license itself. This would suggest that Marcel is the true party of interest. It is his license. Marcel's name is not on the notification to municipality. At this point, I have not been afforded sufficient time to review the questionnaire. Because of all of these reasons, this application has to be denied. Thank you. Any questions for me?
Just for clarity, the community board does not typically share leases because it's private information for people. I wouldn't want my lease out there, just personal. But we do share sometimes the terms of the lease or the length of the lease if it's material. We received a lease that was unsigned. That's all that is important here. We don't feel that we should share that. As far as the deadline to submit the questionnaire, to be clear, community boards are advisory. No applicant for a liquor license, a cannabis license, a street activity permit, or anything else is obligated to engage with the community board or their neighbors. They can bypass and go to the state or the city. They do not have to come to us. We consider it, a courtesy to invite them, and we like to hear directly what their plans are, and we like to share our opinion and amplify your voice with those people. We are grateful for Ms. Czar sending Kayla, her representative, and submitting the questionnaire. She did not have to. Let's remember that. The other thing is Ms. Czar is in fact justice involved. Her qualifying cannabis conviction allowed her first license, which was in fact a conditional adult use license that is reserved for people with qualifying cannabis convictions. The The other thing is she does have proximity protection. The fact that she is on the list as pending proves that she has been granted proximity protection from the OCM. However, the OCM tends to just give proximity protection these days, especially during this injunction. I think, you know, I won't muse on why, but they seem to just be approving whatever. No ADA, that is an issue. Unless it's non-conforming pre-existing use, even with ADA, and we've done research on this before, people can claim that it is too much of a burden to make the difference, to make the change, and if it is a landmark building or in a landmark district, it may prove challenging, but yes, it is an issue. Again, I'm sorry that she didn't talk to you, but again, these people are not obligated to speak to the neighbors. We have given them information. No, she did, but they are not obligated, just so we're all clear. They should. We encourage. And as far as Mr. Hooks, as a TPI, she submitted what did she submit? The sale documents, and they are all signed and notarized. So as far as we can tell, Silver and Spindle now owns license number, what is it, 1155. 0001155. Yeah. So just to clear all of that up so we're all on the same page. All right. The next speaker is Tomo Kodama. Or is that right? Come on up.
Did you want to?
Do you want to make notes and
You want to make notes? And then
yeah, answer later. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Tomo Kodama. I'm actually one street over on Horatio. I came here, they'll say that I wasn't committed for or against, and that's because I want to hear various opinions and understand what's going on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yes.
Like I said, I came here to just hear various views, and I didn't really want to come here with a preconceived notion up till now. I was curious, especially because I looked at Google Maps and all this stuff like you were mentioning, and the school's very close. My daughter went there. It's about 375 feet, at least according to Google, somewhere in that ballpark, and about 410 feet from a playground. And I was wondering what the rules were about that. It sounds like it's kind of up in the air. And also, I noticed that if I looked at the zoning, this neighborhood is R6. And if I looked on the web, and New York City buildings locating cannabis business in compliance with New York City zoning resolutions, it says that you can't really have this in a R6 neighborhood. So I was just curious about that. And I guess, you know, big picture, I want to come. It's my first meeting like this. So thank you. But I guess I have a 6-year-old child, and I was thinking back about a party I was invited to, and they were serving gummies, and there were a lot of kids around. And I was thinking about, well, I have a kid. There's a lot of kids going past in the neighborhood. I was listening to a story about someone putting out tables and things like that. I don't know. It just raises the potential for kids looking at things and thinking they're candy or something. And I don't know all the details of how you plan to run your business and all that stuff. But those are kind of things that were on my mind. And I was wondering, what is the point of making special accommodations given the proximity to the schools and playgrounds and the nature of the neighborhood? And I'm not completely clear where I come out on this, but I kind of have to lean towards not being in favor here. But that's the kind of background I'm coming from. So think that's all I have to say.
Very thoughtful comments.
I have a question. You said that it's zoned R6?
At least I looked at something called Zola.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So William, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
But
I had a
don't
similar
really know
question
how it
too,
works.
because it looks to me on Zola like it's an R6 with no commercial overlay. So I think they're relying on the fact that it was pre-existing business at the time of the zoning resolution being put in place in the 60s. But it's an interesting question, right? Because it implies that theoretically, if this kind of business is allowed to locate in this circumstance, then any place where there's been a small business in a residential area theoretically opens up to a cannabis store opening, which is actually a pretty big implication if you think about it.
Well,
that's my understanding, but if I'm wrong,
Honestly,
I'd love someone to let me
I
know.
was kind of thinking about the same thing, whether it's cannabis dispensaries or whatever. And if you walk half a block over, I think you are, I think called CO something. It's a commercial overlay around Hudson Street. And so I was kind of wondering what's the point? And I'll leave it at that.
William was wondering the same thing this afternoon, so thank you. Now we've got two. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you very much.
Anna Staulig?
Hello? Hi, I'm Anna. I live at 805 Greenwich Street. I think drugs are bad. You must deny this application.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. The next person up I have is Silverstein. Did I say that right? No, sorry.
No, that's okay. Sylvie. Silka. Beautiful.
Yeah, I also live at, can you guys hear me? I'm not sure.
You can.
Yeah, okay. I also live at 68 Jane Street, so it's literally just across the street, across Greenwich Street. My neighbor already spoke about the loading dock and basically all of Jane Street having stoops, and we're just very concerned about not only that, what the other speaker was talking about, the chairs that have been provided by the owner of the building and tables and people hanging out, which I wouldn't mind, but I would mind it if these are people that are actually smoking pot in public. And I think that neighborhood lends itself to that, to just a quaint, cute hangout, smoking a blunt. And I really, as a mother of two, and you know, in my opinion, troubling idea of having the preschool around the block. And I don't know if they were hinting at that, oh, it's just a preschool, they're little. Well, you know, they have older brothers, sisters, moms that are walking by, and I just don't feel it's the right location. It's a quaint area that is absolutely just residential, and I just don't understand why anybody would pick that spot, because if you go just a block over, 2 blocks over, yeah, then you're closer to even more dispensaries, so you lose a little bit your edge being, you know, in the middle of the neighborhood, but it's a lot more appropriate. I just don't think that spot is right. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, Zachary Weinstein.
Hi, Zach Weinstein, long-term resident of 92 Horatio Street, about 2 blocks from this location. Just basically want to support what all the other community residents have said about this being a very inappropriate location for a dispensary, and just in general, a very problematic application. And again, specifically, the community benefit, given the number of other dispensaries very close by, both on 8th Avenue and on 14th Street, is really not a need that's being fulfilled here. And I hope that the committee will make as strong a recommendation as possible against approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. William Callio.
Hello, my name is William Caleo. I'm at 803 Greenwich Street. I'm writing to express my strong opposition to this application. While there are many reasons why this cannabis application should be denied, really the most significant issue is the proposed shop is located within 500 feet of the West Village Nursery School. During tonight's session, the applicant appeared unaware of the school's existence, and I believe this proximity should disqualify the location immediately. As a property owner, I own some commercial spaces, and just as a part of my own due diligence, I own a commercial space within 500 feet of a school, and I get applicants who want to open bars, restaurants, things like that, and I just out of hand say, the rules are you can't have an establishment within 500 feet. And I don't understand why we're not following the rules here. I think it's essential. So I also think, I don't know if the West Village Nursery School is here, but I'm sorry that you're being disrespected in this way. We should honor schools. We should honor where our children go to school. So thank you very much.
The next person up is Nicholas Quinn, and I think we're going to do like a time limit because about like a minute, maybe.
Yeah,
Say something.
about a minute. And also, is anybody here from West Village Nursery, parent or representative from the school? Okay. Just checking.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Quinn. I am a representative for the landlord of 801 Greenwich Street. We have 5 residential residents of our property that consist of young families and children. We are, yes, also in agreement with a lot of the people here in contesting this application. And then I think some other people have probably some far better things to say than myself, but I think we're in agreement with what they have to say. So thank you.
Joyce Goldsman.
Hi, thank you. I would echo everything that's been said, but I would like to just specifically note a couple of things. This is an adult use business in a neighborhood that has supported a nursery school for over 60 years. That tells you the quality of the neighborhood. It is almost exclusively residential. All other dispensaries in the city are on main commercial thoroughfares. Bleecker Street, 8th Avenue, 14th Street, Union Square, West Broadway. Hudson and Jane is almost a commercial street. Greenwich and Jane is not. It is residential. For anyone who hasn't been to the neighborhood, Jane Street is one-way, one-side parking. You double park and you can't get an emergency vehicle through. Greenwich Street is parking on 2 sides, 1 lane of traffic. Again, double parking prohibits emergency vehicles and buses from getting down the street. This is wholly inappropriate to open an adult use business in this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Graham.
Okay, I'll pass.
Yep.
Hi, all right, just briefly, I'm Paul Graham, resident 799 Greenwich. You've heard from 803, 801, 799. I believe, speaking on behalf of most of the residents of our building, object to this application. I noted the original application, which was subsequently withdrawn, especially Mr. Marcel Hook's application, just 10 weeks ago, which was at apparently the Greenwich Street address, not the Jane Street address for the same building, suddenly withdrawn. He appears, he doesn't appear. He has a very dubious past. It appears from the police records online for straw gun purchases. So I do not know if it's exactly the same man, but it appears to be with the same name in the same location. And apparently, Ms. Tsar has nothing to do with him other than buying the license off him. But at the same time, his name was the original application just 10 weeks ago. So how has he magically disappeared from the application and now it's only under her name? I'd love to know some answers to that, but I believe that it's sufficient to say I strongly object to the granting of this license. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is entirely possible that Ms. Czar never engaged with Mr. Hooks, as he was the original licensee. He is entitled to sell his license. She's entitled to purchase it. We don't know, and we can't say. But as of right now, today, Jennifer Czar and Silver and Spindle is listed on the current OCM applications list for this license number. This application number, excuse me. So.
Next person up is Tom Edwards.
Good evening. Hello. Is this on?
Yes.
Good evening. Last week, we had a community engagement. A large group of us met with the owner, Jennifer Tsar, and she said, among other things, that the nursery school apparently doesn't count. She also told us there would be no deliveries and that she was already fully approved and fully licensed by the OCM. We asked her several times. She repeated these things. And that the CB2 meeting is, to her understanding, a perfunctory meeting to hear what people think, weigh in on hours, and etc., but that it won't change anything. Needless to say, we were very surprised to hear this. She plans on a 10 to 10 hours a week. That's 84 hours a week. Just for some context, a comparable shop a block north, a very fancy boutique shoe store, opens at 11 a.m., closes at 6 p.m. They're thoughtful. She compared her dispensary to a restaurant that sold alcohol, but that is a dubious comparison, as people don't buy bottles in a restaurant and then leave to sit on our stoops and get wasted. The larger problem is this. From Thursday to Saturday, people flock here every weekend. I have to ask someone to move their smoke away from our windows. We have kids sleeping inside. It comes right inside the ground floor. And sometimes the next morning I have to clean up the mess left behind. The food, puke, the cigarette butts. Her shop girls aren't going to be there for that. The party people will take the pot from the dispensary and they will sit on our stoops and smoke it, so it becomes our problem. When we told her this, that it's an issue in our neighborhood, she said, quote, "That kind of riffraff you're talking about, they don't come to my shops." Now, her answer was very revealing. It shows that not only does she not know our neighborhood, she doesn't understand what the West Village is to people who do not live here. It's not riffraff that save up all week to come to the West Village and party. It's bridge and tunnel people, Brooklynites, people from uptown, working people who want to have a good time. And a dispensary will be a little too great for them, but not so great for us. We residents clean up the mess. This shop will only make it worse. Just please take it to a big boulevard. 14th Street would be great. Hudson Street would be great. Granite Street would be great. But reject it, because if you allow this R6 violation, it will set a precedent. And we're going to be up here talking about all kinds of stuff that wants to open because you let this one happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Emily Antunes.
And we're going to be enforcing that 1 minute going forward, so please keep it brief if you can.
Hi.
Just in the interest of everybody's time.
Yes. Thank you. Hi, I'm Emily Antunes. I'm here to speak on behalf of Robin and David Key, long-term owners and residents. Committee. We have owned and lived at 64 Jane Street since 1984. We raised our 3 children here. They attended the West Village Nursery School and then Friends Seminary. We now host our 4 grandchildren at the house regularly. Our house is next door to the 808 Greenwich Street / 66 Jane Street. We feel very strongly that the proposed cannabis dispensary would negatively impact the whole neighborhood and directly negatively affect our peace of mind and quality of life in our longtime home. We formally submit our strong opposition to the proposed cannabis dispensary at 807 Greenwich Street / 66 Jane Street. This location is wholly inappropriate. May I ask, since they were unable to be here to hear the 1-minute rule, I finished this.
Can you submit it? Can you leave it with us?
Can I leave it with them? Yeah. It's from Robin Key.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Alex Capcrow.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me? Sorry.
You may want
You can twist the thing. Yeah, that's the one.
Or just grab the mic.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Alexander Capcrow. I'm a friend of the Salag family. They're sort of like a second family to me. They asked me to come here and speak since I'm a young person, or was a young person who came up in the community. I spent many of my teenage years in their home and on Greenwich and Jane Street. I'm from the East Village myself, and I know that these sorts of dispensaries can really affect the character of a neighborhood. It's sort of eroded a lot of the history within the East Village, and when I heard about this, I felt compelled to come and say that I think that it's a mistake to allow this to happen. There are not so many places left in the city for kids to go and relax without these sorts of adult themes around. It sounds dramatic, but it was a nice respite from my neighborhood to be able to come and visit Sam and his family and experience some level of tranquility without other elements. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Sonam. I won't butcher the last name. Sorry.
Can't even see it on the glasses.
Good evening.
How do you say your last name?
Tobge.
Tobge.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Chair and the board members and the community members here for coming out. I want to make my stand first clear. I'm here to oppose the approval of business license that has been put on the table right now. I lived in this neighborhood for 11 years, raised a wonderful son who is 17 years old, going to high school right now. And he's at that age, where if he's shown too much of a thing, he might take interest, right? As a parent, we want the best for our kids. And I also represent my friends at 335 and 802 Greenwich Street. And they have 4 young, beautiful kids who are growing up, really wonderful kids. And just across the proposed business is a private playroom where everyone gathers and kids are having fun there. And often that's the kind of location that we have around in that neighborhood. So I would plead that this license be denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Samuel Solig.
Hello? Oh, okay. Hello, my name is Sam Solig, and I'm a graduate of UW-Madison with a bachelor's degree in food science. My first job was working for the city as a public health sanitarian. The proposed location of 66 Jane Street is not within a zoning district that allows for a cannabis dispensary. In the New York City Cannabis Business Guide, an adult use retail dispensary is only permitted in the following districts: a C1 through C8, except for C3, M1, M2, and M3 district. 66 Jane Street is within an R6 district as indicated on the New York City zoning and land use application, as well as the certificate of occupancy for the building itself. An R6 district is not an approved district for an adult use retail dispensary because of the zoning regulations. So because of the zoning regulations, you have no choice but to deny this application. Proximity protections do not supersede New York City zoning laws. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Did you submit that?
Yes, I would love to.
And I'm sorry if I missed this earlier, but what was the use of the space in, say, the last 10 years? Because I was trying to look on Google Maps, and I've walked by there many times, and it never looked open. There was always a grate over the building, generally.
there was a laundromat there for many years, and my mother.
Recently, for 2 years, it was a sales office for 140 Jane Street. They were lovely people. Prior to that, it was empty for a year or two. It was Zero was the name of the fashion brand. It was Maria something. Panejo. And before that, it was a laundromat. Winnie was the woman's name. And she did not do any laundry there. She would collect the neighbor's laundry and, sort of like what? Bring it elsewhere.
Okay, but
And she took dry cleaning in as well. She was a lovely person.
Okay, but like the last 2 or 3 years, it was a real estate office. Okay.
Thank you. And the last person that I have is Anita.
No, Jacob's next.
Oh, Jacob? Oh, Jacob. I didn't see that.
Sorry, I had it. Welcome to the community board for the first time.
For the first time. I'm a repeat performer.
You really are.
Good evening, Good evening, Community Board 2. My name is Jacob Solig. I live at 805 Greenwich Street for the last 30 years. The proximity protection that Jennifer claims to have is invalid. It's invalidated because Jennifer used the protection for her previous application listed as 807 Greenwich Street. She subsequently withdrew this application as posted by the CB2 calendar. I have the rule here from the Office of Cannabis Management that says if an application is withdrawn or not awarded a license at the location associated with it loses its proximity protection and is removed from the proximity protection plan, while you can theoretically submit a new application for the same location as she has, you do not retain the original protection. Furthermore, the OCM states that the application must be accurately filled out. Jennifer's most recent application is legally inaccurate and defective. She listed a residential address, 66 Jane Street, as the address of the proposed retail store. The retail store address is 807 Greenwich Street. I have personally been in both the store and the residential portion of the building. There is no access to the retail store from the residential address. Additionally, she cannot claim a clerical or scrivener's error. She deliberately changed the address on the first application from 807 Greenwich Street to 66 Jane Street on the current application. A clerical error is where Jennifer identified the county of this application as New York Country. So, anyhow, also to her criminal conviction, I have two conflicting articles, one from one's from People magazine and the other is a Cannabis Journal. One, she states that she was arrested but never convicted, and the other one said that she has a felony and that, that entitles her to the license. So that's, contradictory information on her own part that she delivered. Cannabis Insider. She said, I was arrested and eventually convicted of a felony. This is not true. She was never convicted of a felony. August 18th, People magazine. Not only did Czar not do jail time, but she also avoided a felony charge. These are interviews by her. Finally, Jennifer will not be harmed financially if this application is denied, as her purchased license can be transferred to another location. She has not invested any money in the renovation or build out of this location. Jennifer has a contingency clause in her lease that allows her to walk away if she's unable to secure a cannabis license. She told this to the community members who attended her meeting on January 6th. Jennifer Sarr's application falls far short of the minimum standards set forth by the board. As such, I believe you have no choice but to deny this application. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you.
Disingenuous.
It's abundantly obvious that there's.
Just show it to them.
So that's the store. This is Greenwich Street. Entrance to the store is 807 Greenwich Street. 66 Jane Street is there, which leads to a tiny hallway and a staircase going up, which leads to a residential area. So to apply for 66 Jane Street as the retail store is incorrect. And legally, it renders it,
This is 66 and this is Greenwich.
And behind it is the city.
So it's my understanding that 807 Greenwich was never submitted to the OCM as an address. It has always said 66 Jane for this license number, as long as it's been on the list of applicants for and as long as it's had proximity protection, according to the OCM.
Right.
Now,
I'm holding
CB2
yeah.
received 3 notification of municipalities for this license number. The first one was Marcel Hooks, and I believe, was that the one that was 807?
Correct.
And then the next 2 said 66 Jane.
Right.
All right, hold on, I have them all right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the first notice to municipality that listed as 807 Greenwich Street.
That was the first one?
Yep. And my assumption is that a proximity protection was issued under that address because that's what she claimed that she got in under the wire, which is when these proximity protections were frozen.
There's no wire. The injunction lifts February 15th.
Correct.
So anybody can cite something, submit a location within 500 feet of a school right now.
As I understand, on September 25th, Jude, is that? A judge froze issuing of all proximity protections until February 15th.
Okay.
That was her description to the people.
Did you read the lawsuit?
Did I read the lawsuit? The lawsuit of the 152 people?
It's only 11 people. So the clause says, and I know because I sent this to Kate the other day, and I'm going to try to find it here. I'm not going to find it there, am I?
Right.
We have texting.
Well, we're
too much.
talking about the lawsuit of the people who were issued
So
licenses.
11 of the impacted, 152 impacted licensees, right, that are cited near schools, 11 of them sued, and they were granted an injunction preventing the state from enforcing the lawful 500-foot rule until February 15th, when that injunction expires, lifts, whatever word you want to use, unless it gets extended, which I don't know if that can happen, but somebody said the other day, like, oh, it's going to be extended. There is currently a legislative fix, but it would only apply to those 152 licenses. But that can also be amended. Anyone who has an opinion on that should call Senator Sepulveda's office and Assembly Member Alvarez's office.
But all I'm pointing out is that according to, information I read, that as of September 2025, there's been a freeze on proximity protections until February 15th, 2026.
There is no freeze. The injunction prevented them from.
So then can you tell us what the under the wire was when Jennifer?
I
Okay, maybe her
wouldn't
representative
found
can
it.
tell
All
us.
right. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you. And the last person for public testimony is Anita Scher.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Anita Scher, I live at 822 Greenwich Street, right across the street from the location. We've lived there for almost 30 years. I've raised 2 children there with my husband, and they attended the nursery school, of course. We also have other families in the building who are currently attending the nursery school. Because the parents are caring for their young children, they're not able to be here, but they also are concerned about the dispensary being located in this location. I do want to add that my husband and I are not anti-dispensary. In fact, he's a frequent shopper. And, we believe in dispensaries. However, this location really is not appropriate for this type of business. I know that you can't make a definitive determination on the outcome, but you do carry a lot of weight as a community board. And also, I don't know if they're still here from Councilman Botcher's office, but your voice, your your weighing in on this is significantly important on the outcome. So really appealing to you. We hope you heard us tonight, and we hope you'll help us. And I wish you all the best wherever you end up. Not across the street from me, but we will be happy to go elsewhere. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
It's okay. Just let it go. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
So do you have any?
Can I? So first, I want to say that we just received a signed lease from Jennifer Czar, although it is not notarized, but we did receive a docu-signed lease. Yeah, she just sent it to the office. And that's all I have to say.
Oh, okay. Well, there were a lot of questions from the community. Do you have any responses?
I just want to make a note of two things. So I do apologize for saying if Jennifer's decided we're not doing delivery there because she thinks it's inappropriate for the community, then we're not. I execute the business plan. I wasn't aware of that. And just for the record, what the landlord does with the table and chairs out there, that's not us. If we get the opportunity to have the shop there, we will not be putting tables and chairs out. And I don't know anything about zoning. I do apologize.
All right.
But if there are any other questions from you guys, I will answer to the best of my ability.
Okay. From the committee now, do we have any questions?
I mean, I guess we could clear up some things like, so you clearly have security. Does that security team have a policy on letting in kids or selling to kids?
No, hello? No, we do not. We do not have a security guard.
Okay. So is there a plan for one then?
For a security guard? No.
I think my microphone.
It's fine. I can hear it.
Can you hear
The
me?
question was, do we have a plan for a security guard?
Right.
We do not have security guards at our type of business. It's not mandatory, and it's just not what we have done.
Do you have a policy on letting children into the?
We follow the
Dispensaries at
letter
all?
of the law, which
Great.
is if
Okay.
they have if they come with an adult.
Have you been selling to people at the loading dock?
The loading dock's across the street.
That's what I'm saying. Like it came up so often. You're obviously not responsible for the loading dock, right?
I'm not responsible for the loading dock.
Of
We
course.
don't sell to minors. We don't encourage people to consume on people's private property. Like I didn't even do that back when I was, a young kid just sitting on stoops. But I understand that that's an issue. We just want to serve this community, which I know that it's very family oriented, but there is a need there. I've seen it. I've talked to people, and we're not trying to encourage as the bridge and tunnel or whatever it was mentioned that is coming. We thought it was an appropriate location because of the amount of people who have talked to me about this because of when I worked around the corner, and because as someone mentioned, there's a shoe store across the street and a wine shop catty corner, or a wine bar catty corner. It just seemed like a lively moment. That was my understanding.
Sorry.
All right.
No one can hear you. You have to do it through a microphone.
And
Sorry.
also, please hold your comments.
Uh-oh.
So,
Are we getting thrown out? Is it 10? No, it's only 8 o'clock.
can I ask a question?
I don't know about zoning or commercial use.
Yeah, and I'm sorry because I missed the first part of the meeting. But so if there's no security guard, who is checking IDs at the door?
No one checks IDs at the door. IDs are checked at the point of purchase. If someone comes in and looks underage, we retain the right to ID them on the spot.
Okay.
That is per the legislation that they have to be checked at the point of purchase.
Okay. Any more questions from the committee? So I think we're gonna go into business session, and in business session, we can't entertain any more public testimony, and we're gonna deliberate on our decision. And
That means you can't participate, but you can listen. sit and watch and listen. Public session is over. So if, but you can, yes, but we encourage you to continue sending emails. We encourage you to continue sending emails and testimony. It will be received and incorporated into our decision and what we share with the state. When is school board this year? Second?
Oh, the 22nd. So
Second?
you've got the board package together at least the day before. Full board this week.
We want to give Patricia some time to write it. So, and it's going to be long, thanks to all the great testimony we have. Yeah, the 20th should be the good, you think? Yeah.
Okay. So business session starts now. So committee, let's deliberate on what we've heard and where do we think? Yeah. You can hear me, right? You want to start?
Sure. I mean, I'll just say one thing about the zoning. So I went and I was looking at the other licensed dispensaries within CB2. So travel agencies, C61 district, Housing Works, C62 district, Smack Village, R7, but with the C15 overlay. There is one example I found that was in an R district, which is Flowery. However, that's on Christopher Street, which is a obviously very trafficked corridor. So I was kind of surprised to see that that was no commercial overlay on that part of Christopher. That being said, I think, if there's ever a time, place, and manner decision for us to make, if there's ever time for us to make that decision, it's a case like this, which does not really resemble the one other example that I found of a pure R6 district with a dispensary.
I mean, that all feels like a distraction from the 500 feet thing. Like whether it goes one way or another, we've been consistent about the 500-foot thing. So 500 feet is 500 feet, and this isn't 500 feet. So I feel like we've already said that we're basically, as a committee, we've already said that 500 feet is 500 feet. So consistency, we can say 500 feet, work from there. All these other things can be listed too if you want, but like that's the fundamental no for us. For me, anyway. I don't know. I'm sort of just rambling at this point.
We're going to follow the law, even if the state isn't. We did take a position to follow the 500-foot rule as written in the law, even though the state is not currently following it. So way before this, that happened. So.
Anthony?
Do you want to say words?
Say a thing about stuff.
Say hello.
No, I agree with the 500 feet, but I mean, up to the applicant if they should withdraw and wait until what happens with the lawsuit and come back again. Up to them. But yeah. I personally feel we should deny based on 500 feet.
My two sons went to that nursery school, so I know that it's very close to that address. And I am not in favor of a dispensary in that part of the neighborhood. So that's where I lay. And I'm glad that she did the community engagement, and I'm shocked that she still didn't withdraw, based on that. We're going to put this to a vote so that we can, inform the resolution that we are going to submit to our full board later this month. So we're making a motion to deny this application. So who wants a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any abstentions, recusals?
Recusals. I just voted. I'm recusing. I am not voting. Recusal.
And I think you have to note what the recusal
I said at the top of the meeting that I have an association with another license that Ms. Zara now owns. Out of district, far, far away.
All right, so that's where we are. This concludes our meeting. Thank you all for coming out. And tune into our full board meeting, which is
January
22nd of this month, where you hear from the rest of the board. But our committee now has recommended denial. Thank you all.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, kill it? Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for coming.